All right, guys, we're still stuck in traffic, but I wanted to get close to where I live. So this is Roosevelt Avenue. We're still on the Brooklyn-Queens Expressway, 278, and we're going to get off at this exit. And this never used to have any traffic during the day around here. I used to fly through here with my cars. But we're going to get off of here, and this is like totally different than what it used to be. So I may get lost, but who knows? We'll see. Roosevelt Avenue, 37th Avenue. That's right. We want east. Okay. Yeah, this is totally different than what I'm used to. But I want to get to 37th Avenue because that's where I used to live. We used to get off at Roosevelt Avenue. Right behind me is a elevated train. And boy, did they change that exit. This is crazy different than what I'm used to. It's amazing. I grew up around here. I used to walk these streets all the time. There was a White Castle around here that our mom used to send us to. I guess I was 7 or 8. Give us $1.50. We'd get tons of burgers, and I think I have to go straight. Yeah. Okay, 37th Avenue. Holy crap! It's right here. I didn't even know where I was. All right, guys. This building on my right is where I grew up. And oh my God, I am just blown away right now. Wow. So I got to go around the block, guys. This is just giving me like, I'm lost for words. The corner store here, on the corner here, is 72nd Street, and it was a laundromat. And we used to hang on this corner forever. Holy gee, we used to just hang out on that corner. And then I used to walk to school up the street, but it was never this crowded. Yes, there was cars always parked, but it was never crowded. There used to be a supermarket over here that I worked in, Met Food, and then a butcher over here. Oh, geez, it's changed so much. Let me see if I can get around. 73rd Street. This guy's got his flashes on, so we're stuck. All right, guys, I'm turning down this block that I used to play ball on. And the block was so much bigger than when I was younger. In fact, right to my left here, a fire hydrant is where I broke my nose. We used to play football on this block. The cars were always parked here, but we had an entrance here, and then we had a fire hydrant. I did a post pattern from that entrance into where that car is I just passed, and a car pulled up. I dove for the ball, and I smashed right into the windshield, and I broke my nose. But the block seems so much bigger, but I was a teenager when I played here. But I lived on this block. I absolutely lived on this block. We used to do hole shots on this block. And now it's just so, but the cars are always parked here. It was always car. Well, once in a while you would get a spot. But this brings back so many memories. All these buildings were here. This is construction, but all these buildings were here. Man, it just brings back so many memories. And on the corner here, where it used to be a laundromat, well, it's a laundry now still. We used to hang out, sit down on the corner, lean against the wall. The parents used to walk by. Kenny, you holding up the wall? And I used to walk up this block to go to school. It was like 10 blocks from here. I would go to a Catholic school I went to. But I'm just blown away. Wow. I don't know if that's the same tree. It could be. Who knows? That could be 30 years old. We used to climb the trees, play in this building, play in the building across the street, play in this. We used to go on the roofs of all these buildings and have snowball fights. We would make these big snowballs and then throw them on down to the ground, which was pretty dangerous, but we did some stupid things. I'm just amazed. And we never had the traffic. There was never a light here. It was just a stop sign. We never had the traffic. Yeah, we had cars parked, but we never had it. I'm just blown away. It's extremely sentimental. I know, guys, it's not part of my racing stuff, and it's just me. But this is where it started. I used to hang out here, and I used to see hot rods drive all the time. And I used to work on cars in the street right here. And for these older kids that were kind of like, they were into drugs and stuff, but they were good kids still anyway. Everybody was into drugs. And I used to work on their cars. And where am I going to go? Beeping the horns. There's no place to go. But there was never the traffic like there is now. Never. Never the traffic. It was just a stop sign. Yes, cars were parked in the street. But yeah, so I'm trying to remember guys, I'm not, like I said, this is how my racing started. Nobody, a guy growing up in Queens, New York, didn't know anything about stock and super stock. A little bit about drag racing, but nothing about NHRA, sportsman racing. And I don't know how I got into it. And by the time I was in my late 20s, which I just about moving from this area, and I became a drag racer. But this is where it all started. I have pictures of the cars that were at old cars, and I grew up here at what the fuck is this guy beeping a horn about? Yeah, I grew up in the 70s here. Really, 1965 is when I guess I'm 6 or 7 years old. Is this neighborhood I know? I was born in Jackson Heights, 2 blocks down. It's not a hospital anymore; it's a school. I don't even know how I'm going to get through here. The traffic is absolutely horrendous. Let's see if I can get through. It's red light. I got through. See, there's this neighborhood. Like I said, we used to do hole shots. And here's the building. Now, we're going to go by the building I grew up in. It used to be a hotel in the 20s. It's to my left. It's really tall. You'll see like a crazy roof, a very architectural-like. And it was, is this guy going out? Is he parking? We used to hang out in this fire hydrant park all the time. But yeah, so right to my left, I grew up at this building. It used to be a hotel, and then it became, I think the 60s, it became an apartment building. And yeah, and then you'll see hopefully we can see some lions. You'll see these winged lions. I don't know if the camera will pick it up. And I used to live on the 5th floor right up there. Hopefully my camera will pick it up. Guys, you won't even be able to pick up the lions. They're all destroyed. Then I used to know a guy, my buddy used to live right over here. And we used to kind of just hang out in this block here. I'm going to just stop for a second and see the way these cars are parked on the side here. Like they're pointing out. Well, they weren't parked they were parked straight. And this is a block that we used to hang out on. Very, very little cars on this block. We used to detail our cars here, work on our cars here. My buddy used to have a garage back here. I remember he used to have his Camaro back here. My brother used to put his motorcycle back there. Guys, I know this is getting long, but this is bringing back so many memories. We used to walk our dogs right over here. It was called Doggy Lane. There's a pool, and this is the Andrew Jackson. It's a apartment complex, and there was a pool in there, and we got thrown out of the pool. We snuck there at night, and the cops chased us out. Doggy Lane, yep. And this is another building I used to live. Just before I moved, I lived in this building. It's like I'm going to go up this block. This is all changed, but right to my right, I lived in this building over here. But this is all changed tremendously. This road used to be super wide, and we would park our cars down here and work on our cars down here. None of this stuff was here on my right. It was all empty. In fact, there was a bowling alley right here. I don't know if it's still here anymore. Yes, there was a bowling alley. Is it a bowling alley still? Lucky Strike, yep. It's still a bowling alley. This was not a highway. It was all just a road. Wow. Guys, this is just amazing. This underpass over here, I would do hole shots down here all the time because I love the noise it would make. Oh my God. I would drive up this block. There would be nothing but muscle cars around. This is the mid-70s. Even though the muscle cars were kind of gone, you'd still see them all over the street. Mustangs, Camaros, Roadrunners, everything. This building is totally new. I know I'm going on and on. I have to figure out how to make this shorter. You got to be aggressive in New York, otherwise they cut you up. This is where we used to play ball down here. This hasn't changed. This is basically, it was all commercial back then. But I used to play ball over here. And I'm going to show you, they used to dump cars right underneath this. It was a perfect place to dump cars, but they used to dump them. Oh, the traffic's terrible up there. So we're going to turn here. Yeah, we're going to turn up here. But this is, and maybe some of the buildings are kind of new, but I remember driving here with my 69 Mustang. 428 Cobra Jet, Super Cobra Jet, 430 gears, 4-speed. It was a beast. Wish I still had that car. park right in the corner over here. And then underneath this overpass here, they used to just dump cars left and right. I remember they had a road runner. I was trying to get the shifter out. And the cop came by me and said, "What are you doing, son?" I said, "I'm trying to get the shifter." I said, "You need to leave. I'd like to, I might have to charge you with stealing this car." He was just trying to scare me, I guess. I couldn't get the shifter. It had a nice big, handle, pistol grip handle in a road runner. I think it was a 440. It was just completely stripped. All right, guys, so we're getting close to where they drag race. So this is called Connecting Highways. It's now this has changed, obviously, since I was a kid. And I used to walk down here from my house, from that building I showed you where I lived. And you see these railings here? None of this stuff on the top was here. None of the top. In fact, this is all new. This is cement, and it's all new. It used to just be a guardrail like you see on the top. That used to be on the lower part. And we used to stand there and watch them race downstairs. And this to my left, to my right here, all it would be to my right here would be parking lots for manufacturing companies, or just all commercial buildings. But this be all open, and we'd park our cars all to the right here. All the cars would just kind of go into this lot. We'd hang out with all our cars, and just watch over the railing. Like I said, this was not this tall. It was a lot shorter, and we just watch these cars just racing back and forth from overpass to overpass. Yeah, it's crazy. So what I'm going to do next is there's a stripped car. This hasn't changed a bit over here. So okay, see that guard railing that you see up there? I'm going to go past that guard. That's what the guard railing was back there. So all we would do is just kind of look down, and we'd watch them race. And it was safe, except for guys that would go flying by on the service road. All right, guys, this is Connecting Highways. This is where we get on. We would go around that block. You see how I just speeded through it because the traffic is just horrendous around here. But we would just kind of get our hot rods, roll down this ramp. Oh, man, this brings back so many memories, guys. So we'd roll down this ramp, put our flashes on. And this is another highway coming. This is a major highway that this is breaking onto. And we'd stop right here with our flashes on. Another guy would get on the other side, put his flashes on. Hopefully nobody run into the back of you. And we would race from trestle to trestle. And you guys can see left and right. People would just look down upon us, and we'd watch us race. I guess this is about an 1/8 mile. And we'd go flying down here. This was like the greatest thing ever. It was amazing. The saddest time I ever seen is the guy kept going to this, and he lost control, hit the dip over here, and smashed into this pole on the left, and just killed himself. That was the craziest thing. But that was huge back then, to go to Connecting Highways. We would just say, "Hey, we're heading down to Connecting," and there was tons of other places we could race, but Connecting Highways always held a special. I don't know. It was just so special to go to Connecting Highways, and like I said, we would just call it Connecting. Heading down to Connecting tonight? Sure, yeah, let's go. And just good times, guys. I'm kind of like at a loss for words a little bit, because it's just bringing back so many memories. A lot of this highway has changed here, but that hasn't. That's exactly how it was from the early 70s when I used to sneak out of my house, and yeah. It was just, it's the same. Good times, guys, good times. So this was called Laurel Hill Boulevard. And we used to hang out down here to watch. But, and then we would just, let's see if we go straight. And we would start right about here. Oh, no traffic here. And we would just bang all the way up to here. But as you guys can see, we're in between a cemetery. It's ironic, right? And there's poles on each side, but me and my buddy used to race here all the time. And we would race straight down here. This was Laurel Hill Boulevard. It's not as famous as Connecting Highways, but it's pretty good. And we would race all the way to this light. And now you figure we get up to this light, we got to be doing 100, right? And we don't have a lot of time to stop. So you'd be on the binders hard. But yeah, but a lot of accidents because, you lose control. It's not forgiving. You would hit these poles. So another cool place we used to race. Okay, guys, we are here, and at my buddy's house, and there's a bus that stopped in front of me. Not sure I'll even get parking on this street, but I may not. All right, guys, I hope there wasn't too much, This is just kind of, I guess it's going to be part one, because we got another 35 miles to go. I need to rest. I'm going to stay at my buddy's house tonight. In the morning, I'll shoot out to Select. So maybe that'll be the part 2. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it wasn't too much of nostalgia stuff. But it's where the racing started. And, you know, a day in the life of Kenny, or Yo Ken, doing a transmission. Just all this for a transmission. Maybe it was fate. Not fate, but a good thing, just to bring back memories, some really good memories. All right, guys, I'm out of here.